Good morning, financial inclusion enthusiasts around the world. You're welcome again to your special program, Fintech Magazine Production, Fintech Africa Podcast. My name is Ajit Mobi Olumayowa, popularly called Olu. I will be your anchor this morning. Today, we have a special guest with us, a special guest indeed from Lapo Microfinance Bank. Dr. Thorpe is the head of strategy and transformation at Lapo Microfinance Bank. Uh, Dorcas, good morning. We're glad to have you this morning.
Good morning, Olu. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Thank you very much. Let me just give you a brief background to Mrs. Dorcas Thorpe. Dorcas is a dynamic and visionary leader with over a decade of experience driving transformative change and organizational growth in Nigeria's financial service sector. As the head of strategy and transformation at Lapo Microfinance Bank Limited, she excels in strategic planning, project management, digital transformation, change management, and business analysis. Her innovative leadership has seen her pioneer the establishment of a project management office that revolutionized project execution and implement cutting-edge digital banking strategies, including the rollout of prepaid and debit cards, agency banking, and branchless banking platform that expanded customer access and boosted operational efficiency, contributing a remarkable 355% profit increase in a single year. A dedicated professional with a strong academic foundation, Docker holds a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology and Network and a Master of Science in Computer and Information Network from Middlesex University and University of Essex, United Kingdom, respectively. She's a certified She's a certified member of the Chartered Institute of Bankers, MCIB, and an associate of the Chartered Institute of Customer Relationship Management, ACIRM, and has further earned leadership skills through, excuse me, and has further earned her leadership skills through the Advanced Management Program at the Lagos Business School and IESC University, Spain. Beyond her primary role, she serves on the boards of over 10 companies spanning technology, insurance, health, and education, including a foundation and volunteers as lead of the partnership team at TEDx Lagos, where she continues to champion innovative ideas and community growth. That's a very good background and a very good way to have this program for today started. Ms. Dockers, without wasting more time, we'd like to start asking you relevant questions so that you can share with us um, your expertise and what you have done with LAPO. Um, the first question I'm going to ask you this morning is please give us an overview of Lapo Microfinance Bank and its mission in promoting financial inclusion, especially for women.
All right. Thank you once again, Olu, for having me. This is a laudable event and platform to share. I'm deeply grateful. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Um, all right. So, I'd like to start by saying that LAPO is an acronym for Lived Above Poverty Organization. And in that name already, it's clear what our vision has always been, right, to help alleviate poverty. And we have found, ways or strategies to do that, especially working with women. So LAPO started in the late 1980s, I think about 88, 89, by the founder, Dr. Godwin Ehikiamusoy, who at that time was really a young chap very passionate and interested in solving, large scale or big scale problems. And the problem was really about, increase in poverty and, inequality, which was a result of the structural adjustment program, SAP, that was implemented in around that time, 1986 or so. So that effect on the economy, the scale in poverty, and then the deep hit on women and children, of course, led him to, create this. So he's a social entrepreneur, but back then he was just someone who was interested, and he founded Lapo by actually giving 300 naira, which is 100 naira each, to three women. So that's how Lapo came about, giving 100 naira loans to three women in the then Bendel state, in Ogwashuku, and saw how they utilized the funds and how they paid back gradually. And so that's how Lapo started to provide financial support to women who were already economically active. Lapo has grown from where it started as an NGO to then fund a microfinance institution. So Lapo, as a microfinance bank, was licensed as a state MFB in 2010 and then became a national MFB in 2012. We provide all of these services through our branch network of over 500 branches. We've served more than 6.4 million customers, of which 65% of that are women, or more than 65 actually, are women. We've done this for over 30 years, like I said. So the vision and the mission for us is to improve lives. And how do we do that? It's the provision of innovative, cutting edge financial products and services for female entrepreneurs, and also in male in general, men and women as well. So that's what we've been doing, and that's the overview. We're very passionate about this, improving, financial inclusion, access to finance, and other services that will help elevate poverty in the country.
Thank you very much for that. I'll still ask a further question on Lapo, actually.
Sure.
I'd like to know what inspired Lapo's focus on empowering women through microfinance solutions.
So two things really. The fact that in most or any society or economy, women and children are the most vulnerable, right? So for us, or for him at that time, he understood that and knew that when you support women, you are, supporting their families, you're supporting the community and also the nation at large. The second thing is the fact that, women are also very enterprising. Maybe because of the nurturing nature of women, we tend to think deeply about the survival and sustainability of the family. We're more involved in, what the children would eat, what schools would they go to, education, and a lot of other things. Health matters, and so they're more enterprising to find ways to support their families, right? And so those two things really have motivated us, have strengthened our resolve to work closely with women in building them up in terms of their economic activities, in terms of attaining financial independence, so they're able to both do the immediate needs, but also look at larger problems, in the society. So those two things have driven our focus on women, and over the years, with the work we've done with women, we've seen that they're also better at utilizing funds in terms of loans, right? And they have better repayment history as well. So we will always, continue to do that, because supporting them and empowering them has diverse impact on the economy at large.
Thank you. Well, I want to say Happy International Women's Month.
Thank you.
I intentionally waited to this time before I say that because we are just getting a deep dive into the topic of today. And the topic of today is actually breaking barriers, building futures, accelerating women's empowerment. through inclusive microfinance solutions. And I know Lapo, from what you have said, has been taking a very good look and good initiatives and developing products to this effect. But let me ask you, how does Lapo's strategy align with this year International Women's Day theme? Let's accelerate action.
Yes, definitely action. Right. I mean, there have been so many conversations about this so far, whether it's gender equality, women empowerment, and every year when we celebrate IWD, there are many events, and we're discussing. But I think this year's focus is really on go beyond the talk. Talk is cheap. Can we take deeper actions to deepen women equality, women equity, and also empower women and to be more financially independent, right? So for us at Lapo, this is what we've been doing. This is the core of what we do. But deeper in terms of strategy is then to deepen our focus with women groups. I think that that's what's important. So, like I mentioned, over 65% of our client base are women. And so there are generic products, that we have, but taking it, further to have programs that go beyond just providing access to finance for women. So for us, access to finance would be, loans, right? But beyond just supporting that female entrepreneur with a loan for her business, what other services could we render to help her build structure, to help the business survive and thrive and last even generations? So we're having conversations. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, you're on. You're on. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, okay. I, Thank you. I thought I saw network connection failure. All right. So we're going deeper, like I said, beyond just providing those products to then supporting and providing, advisory services, financial literacy programs, economic literacy programs, digital literacy programs as well. These are areas or supports for their businesses to scale, because we've also seen that a lot of women are, especially in this target market, are comfortable, having that one small shop, right? I just have a store, I have a business, and that's it. What about scaling? And it's in scaling that you're able to even make larger impact. So we want to provide more support in terms of scaling, in terms of putting structures in place, and that will come from advisory services, training programs, even opening them up to other channels of funding beyond loans as well. So those are a few actions we're taking, and we're going to be working with more women groups to reach more women in the Nigerian market, and so we're taking action, and we're also encouraging others to also take action through partnerships as well.
Thank you very much. You actually went into product. Let's just take a little dive into innovative financial products or services Lapo has introduced to address the unique financial needs of women. Do you have special products targeted towards unique financial needs of women?
Yes. So I like to first state that I do not really think it's about the unique financial needs of women, right? It's about the unique ways that we provide financial services to women. Because I mean, a male and a female entrepreneur, you need finance, you need finance. There's nothing unique about that need, but it's how we provide the techniques or the measures that we use to reach women that's quite unique because of the barriers that are there, systemic barriers, and a lot of other challenges for women specifically. So what we've done beyond the general loan products, savings that we have, we designed one that we tagged supporting female entrepreneurs, SUFEN, and that's a loan product that has some distinct features. Even when it comes to pricing, is priced a bit lower than the conventional loans that would have. When it comes to requirements like collateral and the likes, we would rather than just strictly ask for things like landed properties for collateral, we're looking at movable assets for that segment. So in terms of that, we've done that. We've also designed savings product that meet specific needs. For example, the My Pikin and I savings product that we developed has additional benefits to you saving over a period of time. So you should target save, and then you gain access first because okay, let me just come back a bit. So my Pikin and I, in Nigeria, it's slang for my child and I. So that is majorly for women to save for their children. And once you start saving for your child, after 3 months, saving a certain amount, you then gain access to a 1 year free health insurance for that child. Then, after 6 months, going further as well, your that child is then selected or taken into our education scholarship scheme to go through that process and then get a scholarship. We did that because those are two areas of concern for women, their children, health, and then also education. And so that was an approach that we used to design the savings product for women. So I think those are a few things that we've done in terms of innovation and targeting how we serve and reach the women market.
Um, Interesting. You talked about women. We're going to ask questions regarding women in rural communities. And I would like to know how LAPO supports women in rural communities, especially those that lived in very, very underserved areas.
Right. So the approach we've always used is largely physical. And in terms of our over 7,000 workforce, about 60% of that, if not more, are actually field officers. And so we have them across the country. It would surprise you to know some communities that, you would find a LAPO in, places where there are probably no commercial banks, you would find a LAPO there. And so our staff strength in terms of our field officers were able to reach out, deeper into those communities, and we form groups. So the group methodology for us works really well, where then clusters, and we're serving them in a group. The leader of the group is one of them. The group meetings are held in the leader's house usually, or the business location, and so we're serving more women through those groups in those kind of communities. Of course, we've had women who never had bank accounts, and the LAPO is the only financial institution that they're engaging. So in terms of serving underserved women or even excluded women, were doing a lot of that across the country. We're in 34 states, or in Nigeria, that's just 34 out of 36, and so we're present almost everywhere. That's how we've reached out to women in those communities, and then also through clusters like I mentioned, we have also engaged a couple of trade associations and unions, as well market associations, to reach out to even more women in those communities. A last one to add is we also provide, some auxiliary services like health check programs for these women. We provide even legal aid advisory as well for women, even in those communities through our partnerships with NGOs, and that's a good one that we're doing.
Oh, thank you. I wouldn't like to leave this section without you telling us about some success stories that can come out from all these initiatives you talked about. Can we have one or two success stories you can quickly share with us?
Yes, I mean there are thousands. There are thousands. I remember one of them, had an encounter with the founder at one of those, programs, group programs, and she, you know, with tears, just spoke to him and said, "Thank you for being our husband," in that sense. And this they represent women who, probably widows who lost every hope in terms of support for the family, and she was just very deeply grateful that Lapo came at that point of need. We've had women move from when they started with us, even over 20 years, collecting a 10,000 naira loan, which you could say are nano loans, right? And now they're accessing loans of 20 to 30 million. They've grown beyond one location. They've expanded to other locations. So we have thousands of such success stories. We have a couple of videos on our website, and I think hopefully we're able to even play some here today for you to see the real impact that we've had on female entrepreneurs at nano level, micro level, small and medium level, across. Yes, and there's one particular Mrs. Sakiratu Mahmood, and I mean she's a client of Lapo, had a thriving business, started with 10,000 naira, and has for over about 20 years or so have accessed more than 20 loans. She's taking over 30 million as we speak. She has expanded into having two water trucks. She has even gone into fashion. She's gone into charcoal sales business. So she's moved. She's a union leader as well, and so she's also supporting other women. And for us, that's good because she's an ambassador now, and so she's helping other women to also grow as she has through the support of Lapo.
That's quite interesting and encouraging. But let's move a little bit from that services. Let's actually talk about barriers to women's financial inclusion. I'd like to know, share your experience. What do you see as major barriers women face in accessing finance, and how is LAPO addressing these challenges?
All right. The first one I think is lack of awareness, right? That lack of awareness is a challenge because I mean they're not even aware that there are institutions, there are people who can support them with finance to grow their businesses. And that could, stem from systemic, issues in terms of gender inequality. The fact that, most women at that level probably didn't go to school and were not prioritized in terms of education and a couple of other things, right? So lack of awareness is and it's a barrier that we've seen for women. And of course, through our various sensitization programs, whether via webinars, on-site trainings, union meeting trainings, union council meetings, and all of that, we try to provide more insight, more information. And then through our marketing activities as well, we're able to provide more information in that sense. But beyond lack of information, to access finance, I think pricing is a challenge as well for women that we've seen, even though they know and they go to financial institutions at different levels, whether formal and informal, the pricing of those products can be a limitation. For them to access, those, to access finance. So we see pricing as a challenge. At LAPO, what we've done is to look for better sources of funding because I mean for us to do what we do we're also funded either through loans from the banks, grants, and a couple of investments as well from both local and international partners. And so we are always seeking cheaper sources of funds so we can give even better rates to these women. And so far in Nigeria, Lapo has one of the lowest rates when it comes to loans as we speak. So in terms of pricing, we're trying to do some of that. We've worked with the likes of DBN in accessing some funds specifically for that segment, and they're cheaper in that sense. So that's number two. I guess other barriers could be requirements to access this funds, especially when it comes to providing collateral for bigger ticket loans. One of the things we've done that we've seen that women do not have that. Most women don't have those kind of collaterals to provide. And so we for nano, micro, and small loans, we do not require collateral. We've gone through the guarantor model. So provide one or two guarantors, worthy guarantors, and then we're able to work with you, provide you, access to those funds. But for bigger ticket loans, we would require collateral, and we're finding ways around supporting women, even in that sense, because it's a business. There are risks to it, so we also need to be careful. But those are a few things that we've done to address the barriers that women currently face today in accessing finance.
Let's talk about How does LAPO ensure that women feel confident and equipped to manage their finances effectively? And do
Right.
you have targeted initiatives in place to improve financial literacy among women and girls?
Yes, we do. The first thing about financial independence is the confidence that comes with it. And when you empower women, you're building confidence, you're supporting them through a journey, you're helping them gain yeah, confidence in themselves, in their ability to solve problems, both small scale and large scale, right? And we've what we've done so far in terms of providing funding for their businesses or providing trainings, helping them understand the rudiments of finance. So in terms of how you make more money, how you manage your money, how you multiply your money, savings, budgeting, all of those things are equipping these women to do better, to have better finance practices, to manage their funds, to multiply, to grow, and then to attain financial independence. So the end goal for us is not just the numbers of, okay, in terms of financial inclusion or exclusion and all, but it's to build people who are capable to solve problems, women who go beyond just their immediate needs to create value in the economy. And that's what we're doing. That's what we've done with all of the products and services we render. That's what we do with the various training programs, be it virtual, on-site trainings. That's what we do when we visit schools and we train young girls, especially on days like World Savings Day, Global Money Week, even the IWD celebration. We go out there, we train, we sensitize, we have programs to just provide more information about managing your finance first as an individual and then for your business. We then also provide incentives as well, for our female clients, incentives that encourage good behavior in terms of repayments, for example. But beyond that, just the fact that you've been here with us, you've grown over time, we provide some incentives to say thank you as well. So all of these things are, helping us really build confidence in women to know that they can do it, that gender is not it shouldn't be, or rather, they shouldn't be limited by, their gender in that sense. If you desire something, you want it, you can go for it, and then we're here to support you through that journey.
Thank you. I think we've covered the challenges or barriers to women financial inclusion. You are about the right person to talk to because we're going to talk about digital transformation and innovation in this segment of questions. And let me ask you, how is LAPO leveraging digital solutions to expand access to financial services for women?
Yeah, so our approach really is a phygital approach, and that's the physical and the digital. Because when you talk about the underserved communities, financial inclusion, supporting those at the bottom of the pyramid, a huge number of them rather, are not yet totally digitally savvy. So the approach wouldn't be to just go all digital. So we're having, the mix of or a hybrid approach to continue to expand with our physical, networks and also leverage on, digital platforms. The fact that just recently we've launched our mobile banking solution, our mobile banking app. We've always had, debit cards for our clients. Clients are using debit cards to access their funds. We also launched our USSD platforms, that 371 hash, for those who have feature phones to also access their accounts and do conduct their transactions. And those are a few that we have. Okay, yes, we also started agency banking. I mean, for several years, working with CBN, with EFINA, with SANEF to roll out our agency network, where we can't reach with a Lapo branch, then a Lapo agent should provide the services in those locations. So agency banking is a strategy for our outreach, how we deepen that in the country today, and we're working very hard to grow that network. So we are very aware that to serve our customers better, to provide simple and easy access and experience for the clients, we have to leverage on technology. And for years we've been doing that. Yes, I can imagine that some persons think that, oh, you've been quite slow in the adoption. We've had our own set of challenges that I wouldn't want to go through here, but I think that every institution has those, right? So we've had a couple of setbacks, but we're back. We're looking beyond that. We're leveraging on technology. We're working with partners as well to deploy these platforms and solutions for our women. So it's a big deal. We're aware about it. We're already in it, and we're going to do even much more to deepen our reach in this country.
Interesting. Well, let me ask you this because you talked about digital products and what you're doing right there at Lapo. What role do you think mobile banking and fintech partnerships play in advancing Lapo's women-focused initiatives?
A very big role. Like I've mentioned, what we're doing now, you have to leverage on partnerships, right? So partnerships is a big way for us to grow right now. But in terms of mobile banking platforms, the fintechs, to reach out to women, it's a good strategy. It's important. So we're having mobile solutions and mobile apps that there. We're sensitizing women, to use them and just gain skill. One of the initiatives we recently redesigned is the SUFEN, and I mentioned that SUFEN is supporting female entrepreneurs. So beyond just being a loan product, we have relaunched SUFEN to be a program, an initiative for women. And that program or that community will run on mobile applications, whether it's as simple as WhatsApp today, or grow into a full-fledged mobile app community for women. Those are conversations that we started and we will continue to do. So it plays a big role. Access to women. I mean, no physical barrier. You're able to reach as many, and the fact that you have variations, right? So even though you may not have a smartphone, we can use USSD solutions to reach out to those who have feature phones, because we still have a lot of clients who have feature phones mostly. So it plays a big part in the future of the kind of impact that we want to drive. I mentioned earlier we're just we're still less than 10 million customers, and there's still so much to do. And so that reach, that access will be driven by technology, and we're ready for it. So just watch out for us.
Lapo, we're watching out for you. Well, let me move a little way out of the digital services. Let me just ask you, is Lapo using data-driven insights to design solutions that better serve female entrepreneurs and small business owners?
Right. So I would say not anything fancy for now, because we're also in the process of developing our data analytics capabilities within the institution. We've also recently just had done a transformation in terms of the structure, org structure, positioning things, and functions to be able to deliver. So the data analytics team was still building that team. So when I say not fancy, what we've done, always had really, is a research and market intelligence team who would conduct surveys, both at very small level and also large scale surveys, market research, to provide us insight with the behaviors of our existing customers and also what's happening in the market as well. So we've had some of those data and insights that are fueling our strategy in terms of client experience. How do we provide more support? Our processes, how do we improve those processes to provide products and services in better manners? So client experience conversations are coming out from those insights. Product development conversations are coming out of those insights. We've also, from those insights, broken down our process into sectors. So we want to be very sector led in the coming years. A few sectors have been identified as where we want to deepen our reach. For example, agriculture, education, services, trade and commerce, even the creatives as well. So those sectors are very big for us. Clean and renewable energy, as well as the public sector in terms of payday lending. So those are a few sectors, and those insights came from researches that we've always done. But again, like I mentioned, we're still developing strong capabilities with our data analytics team that can then churn out more insights from the data that exists and also data that's available.
Thank you for that information. It's quite useful. We have a question from one of our viewers, Elijah Maker. Sorry if
Okay.
I pronounce your name wrongly. The question is your strategy taking into consideration the Muslim community um, that is taken into consideration Islamic finance, or is it solely concerned with the classical banking and financial institution? I don't know if you have answer to that, Dorcas.
Yes, so I do, and that's a very good question, and it's something that has definitely come up with what we do. So, like I mentioned, we're in 34 states, which means we're also in states where this is very prevalent in that sense. The northern region, right? And we offer our products and services there. We've had to review our method and methodology both in access and in product development, right? So it's we're not limited by religion. I just wanted to mention that we're here. Our mission is to support women, and whether it's from the Muslim community, the Islamic community, or from any other, we're here to support you as a female entrepreneur, an economically active woman or person. So we're taking some steps we've already taken some steps. We're working in those communities, but we can and we will deepen our work with specific, maybe some specific product development, or in the features of the products that we currently have to meet the needs of people in that community. So I do understand what you said. We're already taking some steps, and more would be taken as well. So thanks for that comment.
Oh, thank you, Elijah Maker. Let's move into capacity building and mentorship. Beyond financing, what programs do you think LAPO is offering to support women in building business skills and leadership capabilities?
Great. Number one is the SUFEN program that I just mentioned. The fact that this is a full-fledged program and that would run in cohorts for women to provide programs in terms of digital literacy programs, financial literacy programs, consultation, building structures, access to other types of funding and finance as well. So that's a community that we're strengthening right now to provide a lot of more support beyond just loans and savings products. But in the time past, what we've done in collaboration with other institutions, like I mentioned, say DBN, for example, the NGOs, the LAPO NGO, because that also exists, and other, organizations, is to send our women, our female customers, to those kind of trainings and sensitization programs in time past, and we'll continue to do that. Continue to do that as we go on as well. So SUFEN is really the way to go for us. we're going to partner with facilitators, with other institutions, subject matter experts, to support these women grow their businesses, achieve scale, and then also be sustainable, last even generations. So, and there's a lot with that. There's a lot that comes with that. So we're very excited for the first cohort of that program that will begin next month. So that should and will provide more support for women.
Thank you. How does LAPO mentorships and support network contribute to the success of women-led businesses?
It's huge. So, in terms of mentorship, or I would say more on sensitization, right? We train, like I've mentioned, women groups, schools. We have, our SME Connect, which is a webinar program to provide, those insights for businesses and also personal financial management programs. All of those supports definitely would help women in business to put in the right structures, to think about growing and scaling, to think about beyond just owning this business 100%. Can I partner to grow? Those conversations definitely help. In terms of mentorship, I guess from the Sufen program, we can deepen that even more, where we connect, women in that community to mentors as well. So that's a more current and future program in mind for LAPO to engage in.
Thank you. Let's talk about women, I mean, younger women, actually, because there's a little bit of concern for them. Are there specific programs in place that has been designed to encourage women to embrace, I mean, younger women now, to embrace entrepreneurship and financial independence?
Yes. So one of our CSR program is skills acquisition, and in that's majorly for the youths. 18 to I think 35. We're going, in different states. We're in 8 states already where we support young ladies acquire skills, vocation, and also even digital skills as well. And the idea of that is beyond just going to work for someone, is that from those skills you can set up your own business, and then you can start to run. So that is a big program that we've trained over 2,000 students in that sense, in different vocations in these 8 states. And we're going to deepen that as well. We're looking at partnerships that will help us do that across other states. Currently, we're working with Edo State government in their job program. We're working with is it NDE as well. So we've already started those engagements, and we'll deepen that in the years to come.
That's all right. You're going to deepen that in the years to come. Lapo, we're waiting on you. We're watching.
Yeah.
Let's go into community impact and partnerships. How does LAPO collaborate with other stakeholders such as NGOs, government agencies, international partners to accelerate financial inclusion for women?
Yeah, so collaboration partnership is a big deal for us. Over the years, there are many that we've worked with. And I just mentioned a few. For example, we have worked with EFINA, who is very big on financial inclusion, providing data and insight, and also supporting financial institutions build, products and services. And we worked with EFINA to scale our agency banking network. We got some grants and we worked with them on that. We're working with DBN, who is able to provide, cheaper sources of funding for us, and then to also unlend to women entrepreneurs, well, men and women, but a large focus on women. We've worked with, WSBI, who is the World Savings and Retail Banking Institute, to develop the innovative savings product I talked about, my Pekin and I. We've worked with microinsurance institutions to provide insurance on our loans and also for the businesses of our customers. We've worked with, like I mentioned, Edo Jobs, for example, in terms of the skills acquisition and graduate training program. We've worked with even Wevo, and I'm mentioning their names. I know it's not a paid sponsorship, but anyways, we've worked with Wevo, who is a community of women who are even the vulnerable amongst the vulnerable. So what I mean by that, Wevo supports widows, the community of widows, of single mothers, of female breadwinners, and we've worked with them to also support their women in terms of access to finance for their economic activities. So we have collaborated deeply with institutions, whether they're private, government, local, international, to provide all of these products and services and even the trainings that we do. We work with an institute, although it's Lapo Institute, but we work with them to provide trainings. We work with the NGO to provide, health check services where they go into communities, into those groups, and they conduct, BP tests and a couple of other things. Even when we had the cancer program by the NGO, our women, those screening services were provided to our women in clusters, and then linkages to health centers, for more service was done. So it's a part of us. We don't do this alone. We can't even do it alone, and so we leverage highly on partnerships with various institutions to deepen access and just provide value to our customers.
Interesting. Let me ask you, what role do local communities play in ensuring that the success of Lapo's women empowerment initiatives? What I'm asking is, what role do local communities play in ensuring the success of your women-led initiatives?
Right. A big part of our initiatives are actually credit, right? I mean, you could say it was a microcredit institution when it started before it became a micro finance institution providing other financial services. So, specific to credit, the support we get from local communities, even the leadership of those communities, excuse me, is some type of advocacy and support with loan recovery. I mean, there are times where we've had issues with new repayments in some communities, and the leaders of those communities step up to ensure that the right thing is done. When there are issues, they support us to ensure the right thing is done because of the impact that we've made on their people. So we have that usually when it comes to repayment. And then various initiatives that would also occur, even for our CSRO conversations, for example, with our tree planting move. We're working with local communities as well to plant trees in partnership with IITA. I mean, so those are a few ways that we've had those kind of supports from local communities.
It's good to know that you work with local communities. Let me ask you, are there upcoming projects or partnership aimed at enhancing Lapo's women impact on women's financial inclusion?
Should we spill the beans? Well, yes, there are. But of course, as we go, those will be launched. But one of the steps we took recently, just in January, was to actually set up a financial inclusion desk in Lapo. I know we're women focused, we're as in an institution that provides financial products and services for the underserved, but we needed an organ that will keep us grounded to our vision and our mission, an organ that would lay more focus on access to women. So we set up a financial inclusion desk, and that desk will churn out a lot of products, a lot of projects that will speak to the women demographics, that would provide more value. For example, the SUFEN program on initiative came out of that desk just recently in terms of the revamp that was done. So yes, there are products that would come up. The mandate for that team is also to drive partnerships, to tell our stories a bit more as well. We have a lot of impact across, but we want to be able to also tell our stories a bit more to attract as well. Players that this is a big deal for, and that can also support us in what we do in terms of deepening access. So that team will definitely churn out a lot of products in this light. And for our digital transformation as well, digital products will come up specific for the youth segment. So we're also very big on the youth segment, churning out in a mobile app that is really just targeted at that segment as well is important.
Interesting. Let's go to talk about your future outlook and call to action. Um, in strategy, what are LAPO's strategic goals for expanding women's access to financial services in the coming years?
Great. From the SUFEN initiative, the goal is to support as much as 500,000 women in the next 3 years. And like I mentioned, that support is not just lending; it's empowerment programs, advisory services, structure, and a couple of other things. So we want to work closely, kind of mentor, coach over 500,000 women in the next 3 years. It's an ambitious goal because it's not just giving a loan. You're going, into supporting them. You're going into providing, doing even research for them, providing insights, and also helping them, right? So that's a goal, and we're going to do that more with the community, like I mentioned. We're going to look at product review and redesign. We're going to work with partners. We're also going to leverage, technology as well to, meet that need, that specific goal in terms of, supporting female entrepreneurs. So that's one big one. Other aspects really are, how we position the Lapo brand to provide financial products and services, not just to other segments, right? We say that there seems to be a missing middle, where you're having those at the bottom, being served, and those the high end, they're being served by other financial players. There's a middle, right? And so we also want to be able to reach out to that middle to provide beyond just lending, other, innovative products, even deep in insurance. Insurance is such an important aspect of, building financial stability. Right. So we also want to help in deepening insurance, even in the economy, in the market. There are steps that we're taking as an institution to achieve all of those goals going forward.
Thank you. So many goals, so many things I see you doing at LAPO, and congratulations to everyone in LAPO.
Thank
Um,
you.
what message or messages would you like to share with women striving to achieve financial independence and entrepreneurs seeking growth and opportunities?
Yeah, there's a lot to say about that, but I think I could summarize my thoughts in 4 points. The key one is what you said, striving. It's a continuous journey. It needs resilience. You need to continue to strive towards it. But what are you striving towards? What is the bigger picture? Beyond just attaining financial independence, what is that supposed to help you do? So I think the first thing would be to think about the big picture of attaining financial independence. What problems do you want to solve, and let that be your driving force. Let that be what helps you to overcome challenges that you will face in this journey, in this process, whether they are systemic issues or not, or whether they are just business challenges, or whether they are challenges that just come from having a business or operating a business in Nigeria. There are specific issues around that, but the focus is the drive. And so I'd like that you look at what is the big picture for me attaining financial freedom and independence. Number two would be to get knowledge. A lot of the things that we do not do most times is because we don't know how to, we don't know what to do. So get knowledge, and that could come from communities, being in communities. That could come from investing in training programs, virtual, physical programs, but investing in self development. That's also important. Get knowledge, get insight on what you need to do to attain financial independence. The skills, the techniques, it is important. So you're not just operating from a place of ignorance and thinking, okay, everyone is against you, right? So get knowledge, build yourself up, and deliver excellently. A third one would be to ignore the noise, right? I'm a big advocate for women, for gender equality, equity, actually. Um, but I know that to a large extent, it may become a limiting barrier. As a mindset, you just feel like, okay, because I'm a woman, I'm limited. Ignore the noise and go for what you want, right? You want it, go for it. And if that, causes issues, if that shakes tables, and in some cases the Senate, it's fine. You're making your mark, and you're making impact not just for yourself but for generations to come. So go for what you want. Ignore the noise about the gender issues and the systemic problems. Go for what you want and build resilience. And then the last one will be to not let fear stop you. Fear is big. I think it should point you in the right direction than limit you. There's the fear of, am I going to succeed in this? There's the fear of, do I really want all the hassle that comes with scaling your business? And there are challenges, but don't let fear stop you. You want something, go for it. Achieve your goals, and just keep going, keep striving until you get to your destination. And I say that financial independence is not the end, right? It's a journey. On that journey, there would be issues, but don't let fear stop you. Take those bold steps. I'm usually worried that when you look at male and female entrepreneurs, the men are very bullish and ambitious, and they want to start a business, in one location, and they're thinking about the next location in another state, in another country. But women, you find us, very hesitant to a large extent, and that's speaks to our risk appetite. So don't let fear stop you. Take some risks, right? Calculated risks, of course, but take some risks. In there lies huge growth and opportunities.
Thank you very much, Dorcas, for having coming on this program today. But International Women's Day. Thank you, Lapo, for supporting women. But I'm going to stress you a little bit. Pardon me to do that. I'd like you to do the let's celebrate action sign and let people see that Lapo, you're celebrating
Okay.
action. Good. There we go. Let's celebrate. Let's
Celebrate
see
action. Yeah.
action. Yeah, it's been a very insightful edition today, talking about breaking barriers with microfinance solutions for women empowerment. We've gone through quite a lot with what Lapo is doing in that field, and it's been insightful. Thank you, our viewers, fintech enthusiasts, financial inclusion enthusiasts, for sending your questions, for sending your emoji. Quite a number of people I can see here. We appreciate you and we acknowledge your comments and your messages to this program. Well, we would like to continue, but unfortunately, time is always our friend. You know, we need to call it off today. It's been wonderful having you, Dorcas. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, and thank you for the good job you're doing at Lapo Microfinance Bank. We having you today. Definitely, we're still going to have you and talk more about Lapo and see what Lapo is doing. We're still going to share the videos from Lapo, the impact of Lapo. As soon as we get off our live station, we're going to share it. And for all our enthusiasts, all our subscribers, and all our lovers to see what Lapo is doing. Thank you very much. And please extend our Warm greetings to the founder of Lapo, Godwin, Dr. Godwin. That's what I call him. Say hello, and we wish Lapo well in the coming years. And you said we should watch out for Lapo. Lapo,
Yeah.
watching out for you. Thank you. It's nice having you.
Thank you so much for having me and a great conversation. And I'm always available to support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Till another edition, which is going to come up tomorrow, I remain your host, Olumayowa Ajetumobi. Have a blessed day, everybody.